Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today with the next album in my series, Same Album, Different Measurements. This one is a 4¼ by 6¼ so it fits 4x6 pictures. It's in the box. I use the gorgeous, where's it at? Away We Go by Echo Park to mat this. So I use this to mat this, and I use it to mat next week's album, which, sneaky peek, it holds 5x7 pictures. And I have enough in here that I think that I could have done all four mini albums with the collection and the solids. So you may want to try that. You may want to make all four albums and try to mat them with the same paper collection. Anyway, here's the 4x6 album. Here's the box. Let's escape and breathe the air of new places. Let me tell y'all something. When we landed in South Africa, the air just hit differently. Like, it was, I don't know how to describe it. David and I just sat there, and I think that the cab drivers are used to foreigners coming there and just taking in the air. Like, there's not that much scenery at the airport. Obviously, it's an airport, but just breathing in the air. Like, as soon as we walked out, the cab driver just stopped, and we just, I don't know. It was an amazing experience. The whole trip was, but that first 5 minutes, that's what they're talking about. Just breathe the air of new places, you know? Anyway, so here is the back. And I put a little piece on the spine. This was just a scrap. Okay. And it is the same exact layout. Oh, I forgot to put photo mats. Okay, let me do that. Okay, so I just took some cut aparts and I matted them to 3¼ by 4¼ That way you could still put your 3x4 full picture on the back if you wanted to. And this one is actually a little bit longer because it was just a cut apart card that said go somewhere you've never been. But the branding strip just hit perfectly right there. So I kept the branding strip on, and it says away we go. I'm just gonna tuck those in there. And then our flap and our flip. I'm gonna leave it down. And then here is our center page. We have our up and our down. We have our next flap. We have our little flip, and we have our other pocket that I'm going to put my other two little cut aparts and a little journaling card in the back there, like so. Just stage it how you want. But here is our layout. Let me see if I can zoom out. Excuse my dirty desk if I zoom out too much. Let's see. I can't get all of it in, but look at that layout. So again, if you have your where are my pictures? Here we go. Your 4x6 pictures will fit exactly on your mats. Well, actually for this one, this is exactly 4x6, and so you'd have to trim it down, which it wouldn't be a big deal to trim it down, right? And then you can tell your story with your little pictures if you wanted to, you know, like just do something like that. I don't know. Tell your story. So you can use, you know, whatever size. These happen to be the 2x3. You can use your 3x4s. You can use your 4x6. Now, if you are going to use all 4x6s, I honestly would not mat anything but the flaps, because your flaps you're going to have to trim down, and maybe you're just going to leave your paper as is and put like the stickers or something. But if you're going to do 4x6s, it's the exact same as what you're going to mat. So you don't even have to mat. So if you're giving these away as a gift and you already have the pictures, you're good to go. You just got to do the front, the back, maybe these little flaps here, And maybe the outside, you put a little journaling card or whatever. So you don't have to mat everything, right? So here's the tutorial for the 4x6. Okay, so here's the tutorial. Here's the prototype. And then the box, this is the original box that I made, but we're gonna have to increase the size. So the description box will be the correct size. So it'll be different than what you see here, by just a little bit. All right, so the album, here's my madness. But I am gonna work off what I typed up just to make sure that my measurements are correct. So this one is gonna hold your 4x6 pictures, and we need, I'm gonna use my 12x12 paper here because that's what I have. You can use your 8.5 by 11 paper because it will fit. So all of them are going to have the measurement of 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 by 8 7/8. So it's just before the 9. And so we'll put that to the side. Your next one is going to be 6 1/4 by 8 3/4. Yes, the bigger albums for the 4x6 pictures do take a lot of paper. It's so worth it though. So 6 1/4 by 8 3/4. And then 6 1/4 by 8 5/8. So 6 1/4 by 8 5/8. So 1 3 5. That's the tick mark between the 1/2 and the 3/4. Okay, let me move all of this stuff over. And I am definitely going to use those scraps that I just cut off. So that's why I don't mind using my 12x12 paper. All right, on all 3 of them, I'm going to score them at 4 1/4 on both sides. So on the long side. So 4 1/4, rotate it 4 1/4. This is the easiest way to get these measurements because you do have that little baby 1/8 of an inch, which I'm hoping it works. On the prototype, it worked just fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. Just second guessing myself. Like, you know, I'm human. That's what we do. All right, so the next one, the same thing, 4 1/4 on both sides. So 4 1/4, flip it around, 4 1/4. Obviously, you can make these, the spine pieces, you can make these measurements bigger. If you don't want to work in the 1/8 of an inch, you can always just make it bigger. Obviously, you're just going to have to make your paper longer and go from there. All right, so the same one, 4 1/4. Rotate it, 4 1/4. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this together before we do anything else. So the longest one, I'm just going to varnish. Okay, then the next one. I don't mind working in the 1/8 of an inches sometimes. Sometimes I do, so. All right. Okay. And then our last one has that itty bitty 1/8 of an inch score line that sometimes is a pain, but it is well worth it. I'm gonna have to take this out of camera to fold on that 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to use my 1/4 inch score tape and my 1/8 of an inch red line tape. So on the longest, or the thickest one, I'm going to put this 1/4 inch directly in the middle. And here we go. And I'm going to take, make sure there's no overhang. And then I'm going to take this next one here and I'm going to line it up on that score tape, just basically in the middle of those score lines as best as you can. Oh, that one came out perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to take my 1/8 of an inch tape, allegedly. There we go. And I'm going to stick that right down the middle here. Okay. Varnish that in. Peel it up. Okay. Make sure there's no overhang. And again, I'm just going to center this. Having the tape there is a great guide to get these in the center. And looks good to me. Make sure that is varnished in well. And this one's a little bit thicker. All right, so now I'm just going to make sure my pages varnish again. So that way my pages know what I need them to do. Okay, come on to the other side. Varnish. And varnish and varnish. Okay. Here we go. So my book is a little tiny bit off. Now, for me, it may or not, can't even talk. It may or may not bother me. Right now it's bothering me. So all I'm going to do is open it up and I'm going to put it in my paper trimmer and I'm just going to trim that tiny 1/8 of an inch that I messed up on. There we go. Now my book is all even. Okay. So that's all you have to do. Okay. So now let's go ahead and let me pull up my measurements again. Let's cut our pockets and then we'll do our flops. So our pockets, we need 2 of them, which are 3 inches by 5 1/8. All right, so let's take our scraps and see what we got going on here. Oh, perfect. All right, so 5 1/8 by 3 inches. And because it's a pocket, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So long side, short side, rotate, long side again. So both sides of the long side and then only one side on the short side. Okay. And we need another pocket. So 5 1/8 by 3. Scored at 1/2 on 3 sides. 1, 2, and 3 sides. If you accidentally score your pockets wrong, where like you do this side, and this, it doesn't matter. Just do the correct score lines and you'll cover it up with a piece of paper. That'll be fine. Okay. So there are pockets, and let's go ahead and add our score tape. Or if you're a gluer, then you'll glue when it's time to put it in your album. Here we go. And one more side. Okay, and we're gonna do this one. Just normal pockets to business here, nothing new, nothing exciting. Okay. All right, so our pockets are prepped. Oops. Let's move on to our flaps, okay? So for our flaps, we need 2 at 4.5 by 3.25, scored on the long side. Okay. So let's see. Oh, that's exactly 3.25. All right, so what did I say? 3.25 by 4.5. 3.25 by 4.5. And we need one more of those measurements. So 3.25 by 4.5. Okay. And these are scored 3.25 by scored on the long side at 1/2 inch. All right. All right. So we can go ahead and put our score tape on those. This is our first page and last page inner flaps. Okay. So we have those. Now we need to go ahead and prep our flaps for like our 4-page layout. So those flaps are 6.5 by 4, scored on the long side at 1/2. So we need 4 of those. All right, so we're gonna mark this down. All right, so 6.5, and again, it does use paper. So if you're gonna sell these, take that into account. Charge more because you're using more paper and you're gonna have more waste. All right, so 6.5 by 4. And then this should be, nope. This is where using your scraps is going to really, really help you. Okay. So that's 3. And I need one more. I don't really have it. I just opened this pack, so I don't really have scraps other than what I just used. So 22, 4, by 6.5. Okay. There we go. Now they all need to be scored where? On the long side at 1/2 inch. Okay. And that's over. All right, so 1/2 inch. And the last one at 1/2 inch. Okay. We're good with our paper trimmer. Let's go ahead and prep these. These are all going to be on the dented side. here we go. And here we go. So these are pretty quick to put together if you prep first. And obviously if you're not doing a tutorial, you can knock these out in, you know, probably less than half an hour. And that is with decorating. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put those to the side. Bring my album back in. Now we need to decide, are we rounding? Are we not rounding? I'm gonna go ahead and round. So corner chomper, I'm rounding. Each page, I'm only doing the 1/4 inch. Oh, there was 2 pages there. That's why I couldn't get this one. Okay. And you can do 1/2 inch, you can do fancy. Like if you have the scalloped one or the ticket stub or whatever, makes your heart happy. That is what you're gonna do. But because I rounded the other ones, I'm gonna round these. All right, so our pockets, let's bring our pockets back in. We are going to miter. Where'd my good scissors go? Okay. We're gonna miter where that line meets on both sides. Okay. We're gonna varnish. We're gonna varnish. And we're gonna varnish all your pockets, all your score lines. Right, we're gonna go ahead and take our score tape off. If you're a gluer, now it's time to glue. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to punch my side here, which is fine. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stick that right back on there. And I'm gonna stick this one back on there. Just because my corner chomper is old. Normally I don't care. Normally I just chomp right on the sticky tape. But it's on its way out, so I've had a great run with this corner chomper. It's been 10 years. 10 years plus. All right, so here we go. Line that up. I designed the pockets so you don't have to worry about if they're gonna be too big and go over the side or hit your score line. It's too small to do that. So just pay attention where you're putting it. If it goes over, that's user error. All right, and then we're gonna put our pocket on our back flap. And we need to corner round the bottom right. Okay. And take our tape off. And bring this up and over. Leave a border on the bottom if you want. Don't if you don't. Okay. Varnish those in. All right. So now we need our second page flap because remember, where's my books? I lost all the books. Let me just use this one. So we're here with our pockets. Now we're putting on these flaps here. Okay, that's your 2 small flaps. We're gonna go ahead and round. I'm just gonna round the ends. You can round as many sides or as few sides as you want. For these flaps, you can decide if you want to miter or not. You don't have to because it's a bigger album, so we don't have to worry about too much extra little bulk. Last week's we had to worry about the bulk because it was a little baby album. Okay, so there's our flap. So now we need to flip the book over to the last page again, to the back cover, and we need to add our flap as much in the middle as you want it to be. Here. Perfect. Okay. Now we need our other flaps, and I'm gonna go ahead and round their corners. Let's see if my chomper will work. Ah, there we go. I did chomp a bunch of foil. I had to really concentrate to say that without like a country accent, so people know what I was talking about. So much foil. So foil to kind of make it sharper. Anyway, all right, so let me get our original book so I know where I'm putting these. So we're here, and flip, and flip. This is on the bottom left. Okay. Take your score tape off. Bottom left. If you want to round it, you can, which I am. Yes, I already took the score tape off. It's fine. Okay. And we're going to place this. Again, it's going to be in the middle, so you don't have to worry about the flap going on the score line or off the edge. All right, so that's that. We're gonna flip the page, and this should be our center, which it is. So we need the left one on the top and the right one on the bottom. Okay, so this one's on the top. And it's gonna go up there. Okay. I have to flip my book around because I work on the bottom better. So technically this is the top. I just flipped my book upside down. Okay. And then this one is going on the bottom right. So I'm cutting off my overhang in case you're wondering what I'm cutting off. And this one needs to be there. Take that off. Place it on the bottom. Again, leave that little border if you want that little border. If you don't, then don't. It's a little bit crooked. Okay. What am I doing here? Why is it crooked? You know what? The bottom of my page is probably crooked because I cut some of that off, and so I'm going to line it up using the top, not the bottom. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Because that tiny little bit bothered me, and now my page is off. But that's okay because my flap, I just made it to where you can't tell. All right, so here we are. This is our middle page layout. All right, so flip the page, and on the right, we're gonna put this on the top. So we need to round that corner there. It's going on the top, but again, I'm flipping my book over. And honestly, you know, if you forget, like if you have to flip your book over too and you forget and you put it on the wrong top or bottom, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows what the book is supposed to look like except for you. So, all right. So our book is done. Easy peasy. All right. So if you want to see our fun time layout, here it is. I know you can't see it because my camera is as high as it goes. But yeah, and that is very crooked, but we are going to cover it up with paper and you will not see that. All right, so let's go ahead and make the box for this, okay? I love it. The box. What do I need? Coordinating box. Cardstock 10 3/4 by 8 3/4. All right. Just shove all your stuff to the side. You're fine. All right. 10 and, what did I say? 10 3/4. So 10 3/4 by 8 3/4. 8 3/4. Okay. Oh my. Hit something on my mouse, but that's okay. I think we're still going. All right. Okay. So on the long side, we need to score at 3/4. 5. 5 3/4. And 10. Okay. Short side, we need a 1/2 and 1 1/4 on both sides. So 1/2 and 1 1/4 and 1/2 and 1 1/4. Okay. So those measurements are, and here's where I worked it out on my template. 1/2, 1 1/4, and then 7 1/2, and 8 1/4. Yeah, this is the first time I'm making this size box. All right, so let me type that in my instructions. Okay. Burnish. Now, or burnish second, don't matter. This one just is hard to see my score lines, so I'm gonna burnish first. Okay, so normal box. If you need me to go slower on the box, you are welcome to watch my Wednesday series, which is called Box Lunch, and I do go slower on the boxes. All right, put your double score lines on the top and the bottom. Same thing, we don't need the 4 boxes on the bottom right, and we don't need the 4 boxes on the top right. Okay, so here we go. Scissor cut. And top right. Scissor cut. Okay, now we're going to cut up our score lines. Doesn't matter if you start on the top or the bottom. Just cut up the score line, cut off roughly half. Miter, miter. Score line, half, miter, miter, flip it round, score line, half, miter, miter, score line, half, miter, miter. Oh gosh, I hope this is in frame. Well, you guys know how to make, you should know how to make the box by now. So we're back at starting position, and I forgot to miter my ceiling flap. Okay. Right, varnish, glue. Please don't be clogged. And making sure you get that top and bottom corner really well. Fold your box over, varnish that glue in. Have patience, let it dry. Corner around your flaps. My glue should be dry. Close one in, let's make sure it fits. Perfect. All right, here's our album. Here's our box. It fits super nicely that you can just, well, allegedly, my glue's not dry, and I glued inside. That's why my box wouldn't come out. Okay. All right, and then there you go. Box is good. You can do your finger pull if you would like. Just so it's easier so your customers or your recipient know where to open it. And I like these kind of boxes too because depending on what you put on the cover of your book, it may be an exact fit. Why are you acting up here? Jeez. It may be an exact fit, and so if you can't like pull it out this way, all you have to do is pop the bottom open and push it out. That's what I have to do with our Christmas one because I made the cookies. The front cover, I have it right here somewhere. I decided to use foam tape, a lot of it, and so it gets stuck in the box. I just gotta push it out. Anyway, that's the tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.